the Mother-Daughter Disney podcast. I'm excited today. Today we're going to play a game. So this was kind of inspired by my bridal shower games and baby shower games I have on my Etsy shop, which is Spaceship Earth Design. And so on there I have Would She Rather, but today we're going to do Would You Rather. Obviously this is not like a new concept. Lots of other podcasts play Would You Rather in their podcast. It's not saying this is an original concept or anything like that, but I did make up all of my own like Would You Rathers. So I didn't listen to any other podcasts, so they could be repeated for sure.
It's original for me because I've never played Would You Rather.
Yeah, and my mom doesn't know any of these. I kid you not, I made these up yesterday in the car. So it's like all of them are made up, but we're going to discuss each one. We're going to do a few easy ones at first, and then we're going to get into some more like interesting ones. I think that will be more fun for discussion. So all right, so the first one is, would you rather go to Disney World as a whole during Halloween time or Christmas time?
Oh, I would go through Christmas time because I just love Christmas time. I love Halloween time too, but I really love Christmas time. So I would rather do Christmas time.
Yeah, I feel like I would rather do Christmas time as well. I think the only thing that prevents me from Christmas time is that I've never done the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And it does look more fun than the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party in general, like just generally speaking. So I do think that would be really fun to go to. But since we have been to the parks during both time frames, I did think I like overall Christmas better than Halloween for sure.
Yeah, so. Christmas to me is just so magical because, and as over the years, I have to say it's not as over the top as they used to be. Years ago, it used to be really, really over the top. I'd come home and go, okay, I'm Christmased out. But now they still do it. And I think the music, the atmosphere, the Christmas trees, the Santa Clauses, all the different treats and different things, I think it just makes it more festive for me. That's why I would want to go for Christmas time.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, again, that was the easy one.
Easy one.
Started.
Yeah, that's
all
an
right.
easy one.
The next one. All right, would you want to spend the whole day, and by the whole day I mean you're going to go to this area of the park and you cannot leave it. You get all your meals are going to be there. You can only do rides there. Everything, like meet characters there. Everything is going to be from this area.
Okay.
So spend the whole day in Adventureland or Fantasyland.
Oh, that's easy for me. Adventureland.
You do Adventureland the whole day in Adventureland?
The whole day in Adventureland.
Because think about which rides and what's there to eat in a whole day of Adventureland. You're there from park open to park closed. You're not leaving that area. So
no, I don't know. I still like Adventureland, I think, to a certain extent.
I think I would actually, even though Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite rides, I think I would do Fantasyland because I think overall there's more to do in Fantasyland, and I feel like there's more options to eat as well in Fantasyland. I also like when you're behind the park, like watching the fireworks from back there, because the fireworks would be behind you.
Right over the castle.
You're sort of fully surrounded by the castle and the fireworks as well. I think that would be really cool and fun. And yeah, I really like Fantasyland. Also, if you can swing it, you could get a reservation at Be Our Guest, which would be fun as well because you don't always eat there. So
you're right. There are a lot more places to eat, more places to do stuff. I guess I just tend to always go towards Adventureland because I love it.
Yeah, I do think Adventureland is more fun, I think, to like sit in, to like sit and relaxing, like find a spot and just like people watch. Right. But I think Fantasyland is very much in the sun. There's not a lot of shaded spots.
Right, that's what I think I thought of, is that if I had to get stuck in Fantasyland all day, when I'm in Fantasyland, I got to tell you, it's tiring.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
It's very, very tiring because the crowds are different, the kids are, it's just more crowds, more stuff, more navigating. It's just, to me, when I go to Fantasyland, if I had to spend a whole day there, I think by the time the afternoon came, I'd be like pulling my hair out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would like it because I think even there you can have Pinocchio's Village House where you could sit and you can walk It's a small boat boats go by, which I think would be fun too. So I think I would pick Fantasyland, but it is a tricky one because I do love Adventureland. So all right, the next one. Would you rather ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure 10 times in a row or ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway 10 times in a row? And by that, I mean you don't even get off the ride. You're just going through a little circle.
Okay, I would, should I go first?
Yes.
Mine is Mickey and Minnie's Railway only because I love both of them the same. I think they're both very entertaining or whatever, but Remy Ratatouille gets you dizzy.
Yeah, that's why I picked these two rides to do this against each other.
I get motion sickness mostly.
Well, because Mickey and Minnie's does spin you around a lot too.
Yeah, but it's in that one room that it does it. Where in Remy, there's a lot of them that go backwards, down, and you're looking at all these things going at you. I find that Remy's is more of an ongoing kind of keep my eyes straight so I don't get dizzy, as opposed to Mickey and Minnie, which that room where they shake the things around, I kind of put up with it for that little bit that they do and then go.
Yeah, I would also pick Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because I think the rooms are very interesting to look at as well. There's a lot more to like see. There's a lot of little details in a lot of those rooms that when you're going through quickly, you're going to miss a lot of those details. But I think it would be fun to keep going on it to like every time be like, all right, this time I'm just going to focus on this room and really just look around, decide what I want to try to absorb. But I do think, like that's kind of why I paired these two together because they're both the trackless rides. They both kind of like spin around a lot and stuff. So I thought that would be interesting to dissect. But I do think Mickey and Minnie's that's my favorite ride. So I was going to have to pick that.
That's her favorite. So of course she'd want to go on it.
But I do like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure a lot too. It is a lot of fun. So all right, now we're getting to some of the more tricky ones. Don't mind if you hear my mom's kitten in the background playing. mine. It is actually her birthday in 2 days. Would you rather stay at the Polynesian resort, but you are not allowed to buy Genie Plus? Or would you rather have free Genie Plus your entire stay, but you have to stay off property?
Oh, I'd rather stay at the Polynesian and stay on property.
And
For
not have
me,
Genie
anyway.
Plus.
No, for the way I do Disney now, I love Genie Plus because obviously, you can go on more rides and you can do things without waiting on the lines and stuff. If I was staying at the Polynesian, I would just pick and choose. And I would just do what I could do, and whatever I couldn't do, I'd go back to a really beautiful hotel where I didn't have to worry about driving somewhere or getting somewhere. And I could go back to the hotel and relax and really be close by.
I feel like then the vacation would be very much like a resort vacation.
Yes.
You spend a lot of time at the Polynesian.
Yes.
So.
And like I said, that's because that's the way I like to vacation.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to go to the park and do ride after ride after ride after ride and go here, go there. I like that time down to go to the lounge and go sit by the pool or go sit on a balcony or go sit, go have a nice meal or get up and have a nice breakfast.
Yeah.
So I would stay at the Polynesian.
I feel like now I'm convinced to also do Polynesian. I feel like when I was first making this, I thought maybe I would do the free Genie Plus because Genie Plus is expensive. I mean, like we're going to get to the news of how it's changing soon. Right. But I mean, like, it is expensive, but I do think it is overall worth it to do Genie Plus. So, but I do agree.
Well, the choice is if you either spend the Genie Plus and stay off property because you're not spending the money, or you pay for the Polynesian and you don't pay for the Genie Plus.
For sure.
So.
But I think that's the thing though too, is like it depends what kind of trip you want to have. Like, are you definitely going to have an all rides all the time trip?
I think that my type of vacations now, that's what I would rather.
Yeah, do the Polynesian. I think I would do the Polynesian too. I think that'd be a really lovely vacation just to have a very much resort based vacation, as well as like you said, pick and choose what you want to do in the parks and just kind of relax. The whole
Now, you
time
didn't
you're there.
preclude this by saying this is your one time to go to Disney World ever. Now, if it's one of the vacations that you say, okay, I can go back and do it
that's what I'm
again.
saying. It depends what type of trip you want to have.
Everybody's got their own agenda.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Would you rather ride all of your least favorite rides with no wait time at all, or you can ride all of your favorite rides, but you have to wait 1 hour for each one? And this is for your whole trip. So your whole trip, you either can only ride all your least favorite rides, no wait time, or you can ride all your favorite rides, but you always have to wait 1 hour.
Okay, these are getting tougher. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I think I would go with my favorite rides for an hour and just spread them out. So that I'm not waiting an hour.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going from one to the next waiting an hour. I'm not going to stand like that. I can't stand like that. So I think that I would just pick to stay online for an hour and wait for those rides.
I think I would too. If I'm being honest, 1 hour in line isn't really the worst thing in the world.
We've done more than an hour.
1 hour is really not too bad. Yeah. So it's again, we've waited 1 hour before, and again, 1 hour is not the worst wait time. Once you get over like an hour and a half, that's when you're really pushing it for you're waiting in a long line and that's taking up a chunk of your day.
Right.
But you could still get on a lot of rides in a day and redo your favorite rides multiple times, even with the 1 hour.
Even with the 1 hour. And like I said, as long as I could take a break in between and do whatever, I would rather just spend the hour online and go to my favorite rides. I don't need to ride the ones that I don't care about.
Yeah, no, the only reason why I thought maybe I would do my least favorite rides is just that there are rides that we never go on that I wonder if I was forced to go on them, would they become my favorite rides just because I never go on them? I'm not sure. I think there could be rides that maybe we skip over, but I would really like if I had the opportunity to go on with like no wait or something like that. So, all right, the next one. Okay. Would you rather have free food and drink for your whole trip or a free hotel at a value resort?
Oh, free food and drink.
Yeah, I do free food and drink.
That's an easy one.
This one was kind of hard to pick, so I was trying to do what I was going to put against the free food and drink, but
that's a very easy one. Free food and drink.
Well, what if there's free hotel at any resort of your choosing?
Nope, free food and drink.
Still free food and drink. So do you think the cost of food and drink is still more than the resort?
Yes, I think there are times when the cost of food and drink is more than the resort. I would rather have the free food and drink, and because the resort, there are other, I mean, whether you're staying at one of their like lower resorts or higher resorts or whatever, they're all very nice. They all have transportation. They all have what you need. It all depends upon what you're looking for. But I think free food and drink would just be a bonus.
Yeah, for sure. But then you still have to pay for your resort.
Yes, you still have to pay for your resort. So.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would depend because I feel like sometimes the hotel can cost more than food and drink, as I feel like it depends. Because food and drink you can kind of control to a certain extent too, what you're going to drink.
Well, it depends.
During your trip.
It depends on what hotel you're staying at. If you're staying at like Polynesian or Grand Floridian, those could be at certain times $1,000 a night.
That's what I'm saying.
So you don't spend $1,000 in food. So I guess that's true.
Yeah.
See?
So in that way,
once you think about it.
Yeah. If you could pick any resort, then I would say free hotel because that is more cost saving than the food.
Well, yeah. Then you could stay at the top hotel and then just pick and choose what you want to eat. So I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess so. If I had to do this or that, that would probably be a better choice.
Yeah, the resort. So, all right. Would you rather add a new country to the World Showcase, and you can kind of pick whatever country you'd want to add to the World Showcase, or would you bring back any retired ride of your choice? So, for instance, rides that are no longer. So, like the Great Movie Ride, for instance.
Oh, wow. Well, if you add the country, would it have a ride with it?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, like, there's, I guess you could decide, if you want to ride in your country. So, what country are you going to be adding?
I don't don't know, but I would say they should add a country with another ride in Epcot.
This is kind of this question is more of the idea of like, would you rather add something brand new or bring back something that you really miss?
Something that I miss.
This is kind of the root
I
of
do
it.
miss some of the older rides. Think about it. Some of them I do miss that they don't have them anymore. But I think a new ride would be nice if they added something to Epcot, because Epcot's our favorite place. I think if I had a choice that they could add a country, and if it was going to come with another experience, like another ride kind of experience.
Well, I guess what country would you add, and what type of ride would you add? I guess
I think it should be more like either a boat ride or
like a dark ride.
like a dark ride.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it should be a dark
like
ride.
the Three Caballeros.
And if I had to add a country, what's missing? Where would I want to go?
Well, overall in Disney World,
I say Japan. Well, Japan already has one. See, that's the problem. Japan already has a country, but they do not have a ride.
So you just want to add a ride to Japan?
Either China or Japan. I wish they had something where they went through that you actually felt like you were in China. I wish they had that. As far as the countries itself, even Italy, if they did something where they went and you felt like you were like, in Venice or someplace like that. So technically, I would like to add another country. I can't think of the country right off the top of my head, but I would like to add
think of the countries that are in the World Showcase right now, the one area of the world that is not represented at all, in all of Disney World, which they're going to be changing, is South America.
South America. So if they put South
again,
America
they're adding
in,
South America to Animal Kingdom.
let's say they
so
did
in
it
the
like
future we'll have
a
that.
jungle kind of thing where you went through the South American
again, they always
jungle.
talk about Brazil is going to be added. So.
Well, Brazil has beautiful forests and rainforests and stuff.
I think if I was going to add a country, I would do something from South America or maybe like Australia or New Zealand because that area of the world is also not really represented at all in Disney World.
Right, and I would love to see them represent like the animals. You know how they have the polar bear and stuff and the things, like to represent the animals, like the animatronics and stuff. So I think I would rather have that than bring back a ride that we've done and is gone, even though I miss it. And I have this thing where I want to, to remember. I think I would go for something if they really did a nice new country and gave you some more experience in it.
Yeah,
I think I would rather do that.
No, I would agree. I would also add the new country too. And I think, something from South America, or I think like Australia or New Zealand would be really cool. Just because I especially think about like the ride options for Australia, because again, they have the outback, they have all the animals that are there.
Right. Like I said, the animals would be really interesting.
They also have the Great Barrier Reef there too. Like that would be a really cool, underwater type ride or
thing.
something. I realized they already have the Finding Nemo ride with the whole aquarium, so it's like maybe something kind of like the Little Mermaid ride in Magic Kingdom, where it's like you pretend like you're underwater type of thing. So I think that would be really cool. So those are kind of the countries I was thinking of. But I would also add a new country to the World Showcase. I hope one day they do add a new country to the World Showcase.
They've been talking about it for the longest time.
I know, right? All right, the next one. Okay, this one is I read this one out to my fiance, and he was just like, "That's weird."
Okay.
Just like, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather eat all your favorite foods, but you have to eat standing for every meal? So every meal you have to eat standing, but you get to eat all your favorite foods. Or you can eat whatever food you want at any time you want, and you can sit down when you eat. But every time you eat, a Disney duck successfully steals a little bit of your food.
Oh, the second choice. I don't care if the ducks want to eat.
What if the duck was aggressive as it stole your
God,
food?
well, I'd be very happy to feed it more of the food if it wanted.
Okay, what
it
if
to.
you were eating inside and the duck still chased you inside? That's why Ted was just like, what is this question?
Okay,
like,
look
I
at
don't
it this
know.
way. I hate to stand up and eat. So I would put up with the situation as long as I could sit down.
Right, as long as you're being stalked by the Disney
Right,
duck,
I can eat anything I want, so I don't even care if it's not my favorite food. I'm one of those people that'll always find something to eat no matter where we go. So even if it's not my favorite food, I would rather sit down and eat.
What if you're eating standing, but all the food is free, so you don't have to pay for food?
Oh, well, now you're adding on stuff here. Now we're standing, getting it for free.
Yeah,
and
I want to see what will it take to pick the standing option.
I don't know. I don't know.
All free food, but you have to stand to eat every meal, or
now,
the Disney duck is
right,
coming
now,
after you.
Now you have to add in that the rest of the day you're not standing on your feet all day trying to get on the rides. If I'm walking onto every ride and sitting down, then maybe I could stand up and eat something. But it depends on what you're eating also. I mean, if you really want to eat something with a fork and knife, standing up means you're leaning on something, usually the garbage can, because that's the only flat surface that Disney has that you could actually sit down and eat at, unless you put it on your lap. So I don't know. I think I'd still go with the sitting down.
Yeah, I think I would too overall. Like, while the free food and having to stand, free food in general, it's like that's obviously very alluring. I think the cost of paying for food and being able to sit down is kind of worth it in Disney World.
Because that's, I hate to say it, but what we do is we pay a lot of money for our meals because we choose to sit down. If we didn't choose to sit down at our meals, we could skip all the restaurants and we could just get a snack and stand and, eat here and there and everywhere. But because of the way we like to do it, and I need that break and I like that idea of sitting down and enjoying my meal, if I'm going to waste the calories, I want to at least enjoy it. I would rather sit at the table.
So you're sitting down.
And if I feed the duck enough, maybe they'll leave me alone.
Well, no, the Disney duck is aggressively stealing your food and it's successful every time. So I was going to put that it steals most of your food or half your food, but just steals maybe a little bit of food. You know? So, all right. So the next one, would you rather have perfect temperature and no humidity, but it's raining the entire trip? Or would you have no rain, but it is hot and humid every day?
Oh, God.
It's kind of the choice. Like, would you want to have a whole trip where it's like, it's not too hot or anything like that, but it's just raining the entire time?
No, I'd rather go with the hot and humid because hot and humid,
Really?
I could deal with the hot and humid.
I think I would do the rain, actually.
Really?
I don't think rain is that bad.
Well,
I
that's
think
because you wear shorts and you could wear a poncho and wear shorts and flip-flops and you wouldn't get wet.
Maybe let's say it's winter if it's raining. I think.
Oh, forget it. If it's raining, then your pants, everything you've got on is soaking wet. Hot and humid, yes, it's hot and humid, but if you're soaking wet, you're still going from place to place soaking wet. Yeah. So I think if I had a choice, I would take the hot and humid and deal with it because we have dealt with it. We dealt with it just this year when we were there, where it was 100 and something degrees and humid. We did okay. It wasn't the greatest experience, but we did okay because you can kind of find a place to go get something to drink. You can kind of find a place to get in out of the heat. When you're in the rain, everything you have is wet. So I think that I would definitely stick with the hot and humid as opposed to the rain for me. I hate when it rains in Disney.
Yeah, no, I think I would do the rain because I'm okay with the rain, honestly. I think the rain deters a lot of people as well. So the park, some people start to empty out a little bit more. So it's not too bad. Also, when it's raining, you do spend a lot of time inside, Disney World, like a lot of lines are inside. A lot of the places to eat are kind of inside. So it's not like you have to stand outside in the rain the whole time. It's not like a little cloud is above you the whole time. Right. It's like you can have the option to go inside so you're not being downpoured every second. So I don't know. I think I would do the rain. I don't really mind the rain. And I think it's kind of fun when it does rain in Disney World to a certain extent.
Okay.
I will say,
do it for 3 or 4 days and then let me know.
Yeah. I will say as someone who's not a Disney local where I've seen some of those big storms in the summer, like we've never been to Disney where some of those crazy storms have blown through.
No, we've been in heavy rain at one point when you were younger, especially. We have been in heavy rain. And like you said, heavy rain can be okay for one day. I'm not so sure that if you're there for a week and every day it's going to rain that you're going to be that happy. No, I think day 5.
I think I would still do the rain over the heat and humidity personally. So, all right. And here's our last one. So would you rather get a dining reservation you want at the perfect time? So all your dining reservations are at the perfect time that you want, or would you rather get your lightning lanes that you want for like the perfect time?
I'd rather get the lightning lanes for the perfect time.
Okay.
Because you can always adjust eating. Maybe because eating is not, like I said, I like to sit down and get my dining reservations, but I usually have 3 or 4 options. It's like, okay, if we don't get there, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get that. We'll just go someplace else.
Yeah.
As long as I can go someplace and sit down, then I'm okay. It's not like we're big eaters either. If we go someplace and have something.
Well, there have been some restaurants where you haven't been able to get reservations.
No, yes. There are times
for instance, my mom has tried so hard to get beaches and cream at like a normal time. Oh God,
yeah, you can't get that.
Never get it. So.
No, we never get that. For some reason, you can't get that because, like I said, I don't know who gets those reservations. We don't get those. But if I had to live without beaches and cream, it could. It's not like, oh my God, it's going to ruin my vacation because I couldn't get beaches and cream. We just go someplace else and have a good meal someplace else.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
I would rather have that. I would rather have the lightning lanes because those are harder to, they're harder to do and harder to get. And if you don't get those, well, now you've come down on a vacation where you really wanted to do that and you didn't get a chance to do it. You can't come home and do that. I could miss beaches and cream, come home and have a milkshake someplace else.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good point. So the reason why I put this one last is because this is going to transition into the biggest Disney news of the week, basically.
What'd you decide? You didn't say your decision.
Well, so this is why I did it, though, to talk about what we're talking about. Because back in the day before COVID, they had the Fast Pass system where you could book 3 Fast Passes for the day and, whatever. Then after COVID, they introduced Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane option where you could not pre-book any of the Lightning Lanes. You'd basically buy Genie Plus for the day of or buy pay per attraction for the day of, and then you would book all of your things day of. Now, again, Disney's basically reverting back to the Fast Pass section.
And charging you for it.
And now you can basically, once again, you're going to be able to book as well. So again, in our first topic here in Disney news is that Disney World is changing so it's still going to be called Lightning Lane, but it's going to be called Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, which was formerly Genie Plus, and Lightning Lane Single Pass, which is formerly like the pay per attraction. So the way it's going to work is that you can purchase the Multi-Pass or 1 theme park per day. You're able to choose up to 3 experiences and the times in the 1 theme park ahead of your wait. And after you make your first selection in the My Disney Experience app, you will then be able to make your additional selections as well. That is for the Multi-Pass. For the Single Pass, you will be able to purchase up to 2 selections per day in advance. Some some of the high attractions such as Guardians of the Galaxy or Tron, and you will also be able to choose available times ahead of your visit as well. So you can pick the ride, you can pick the time that you want to do that specific.
So technically, if you get a Genie Plus, that's the rides that don't include these pay per attraction. So you'd have to buy a Genie Plus pass for all the other rides, and then you'd also still have to buy a single pass for all the other rides.
So it's exactly how it is right now with Genie Plus and pay per attraction, but you still have to buy the two. Yes, that is correct. And then again, you can still make those 3 advanced selections before the theme park as well. So it's essentially the same thing they're having, but they're changing the names of it, which is confusing because I feel like we all just got used to Genie Plus and pay per attraction.
Amanda got
and now
used
it's
to it.
called
She does
Lightning
it all.
Lane. Well, I will adjust to it. I feel like you will have trouble adjusting to it, being honest. Now it's going to be called Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, and the Lightning Lane Single Pass is what they're going to be called. Now, just like the old Fast Pass system, the rides are going to be in tiers. So let me...
So what does it mean? You can only get one of certain ones of each?
So now the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass is, again, returning that tier system. So again, this used to be Genie Plus, and this also used to be Fast Pass Plus. So it's reintroducing those advanced bookings. Guests can book up to 3 multi-pass Lightning Lanes in advance, and then in the tiers. So in Magic Kingdom, for instance, you will be able to select, so again, you have 3, remember? So you can select 1 from tier 1 or select up to 3 from tier 2. So you can either do, so for instance, if you do 3 options from tier 2, then you cannot do any from tier 1. But then if you do 2 options from tier 2, you can do 1 option from tier 1. So in tier 1 right now for Magic Kingdom, it's Big Thunder Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And then tier 2 is basically every other ride except for Tron and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So again, so you can, from tier 2, so that's the Barnstormer, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, Dumbo, Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, Mad Tea Party, the Aladdin Carpets, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey's PhilharMagic, Monsters Laugh Floor, Pirates of the Caribbean, Tomorrowland Speedway, and Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. So that is in tier 2. So those rides you can pick 3 of, or you can pick 2 and 1 in tier 1. And basically every other park is going to have that as well, except for Animal Kingdom does not have the tiers. Animal Kingdom's all the same. So they have no tiers in Animal Kingdom.
Here's my question, before I forget the question. If I was booking these rides, right, and I book tier 1, let's say Tiana's Bayou, okay, because that's the last one I could think of. And that one is not until the afternoon. And the first one you're going to go on is a tier 2. When you finish the tier 2, you cannot then go book another tier 1. You can only wait until after the tier 1 is gone to book it.
Editing Amanda here to say that I honestly am not sure if that is going to happen or not. So when this new system of the multi-pass and the single pass launch, definitely just look into it to see what the options are, because I actually don't know how it's going to work, and there isn't enough information out online right now of how that is actually going to happen. If you book your tier 1 in the afternoon, can you then book a tier 1 ride earlier when you get into the park? So I'm not sure, but it is something to consider when you do purchase your multi-pass.
So technically they're restricting you from being able to go on 2 of the really great rides. They're making you just go on 1, and then all the other rides that usually don't have the biggest long lines, they'll put you on.
Yeah, but that's how the Fast Pass system used to work as well, I'm pretty sure.
Fast Pass wasn't so much as
because
tiers.
You could still...
In the beginning anyway, I don't remember being that many tiers. Towards the end it was tiers.
So I think that's how the Fast Pass system was as well at the end with the tiers.
I'm of the opinion of the thing is where they should just take all this stuff away, put everybody on a line, and if they move the lines as quickly as they should, you wouldn't be standing on line that long.
So anyway, so for Epcot, again, in tier 1, you have Frozen Ever After, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Soarin' Around the World. And in tier 2, you have the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, Journey into Imagination with Figment, Living with the Land, Mission Space, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Spaceship Earth, and Turtle Talk with Crush. Guardians of the Galaxy is that pay per attraction now / single pass Lightning Lane.
Right.
And then in Hollywood Studios, in tier 1, you have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky Dog Dash. And in tier 2, basically again, everything else, Aliens, Swirling Saucers, The Beauty and the Beast live on stage, Disney Junior Play and Dance, The Frozen Sing-Along, The Indiana Jones Show, The
Don't want to go to any of those tier 2s.
Star Wars, The Adventure Continues. I didn't know that's what that was called. The Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror, and Toy Story Mania. Rise of Resistance is that single pass. And in Animal Kingdom, again, there's no tiers in Animal Kingdom. Every single ride in Animal Kingdom is the same except for Flight of Passage, which is going to be their single pass.
Individual, right.
So it is, again, for the most part, they're basically just bringing back that Fast Pass Plus, system that they used to have. And now because they went to Genie Plus, now, I mean, I feel like
the difference with Fast Pass also, though, is that even on tier 1, you had the major rides. Now you've got all the ones that have been separated out.
Oh, yeah,
you have to pay extra for.
The single pass.
And you're paying for it. It's not like they're saying, oh, gee, we're going to give you Fast Passes so that, you can plan your day better. Yeah. Here's your Fast Passes, but who the hell, do they say what they're going to charge for this? Not yet.
I believe it's the same prices right now as
So it
Genie
could be up
Plus
to $25 a day per person at least.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And then also the Lightning Lane, which is like $18 to $20 a person. So you
wait,
could
hold on,
end up.
We want to use the terms correctly here. So
Oh,
again,
I'm sorry.
So
Yes.
the multi-pass, again, it
Expensive.
used to be Genie Plus, and
Right.
the payments for the Genie Plus, which is now multi-pass, yes, will be
Right.
the same. And the pay per attraction, and then the single pass will also be like similar to what they are. It's technically all Lightning Lane. So that's the thing that
Yes,
is
I
confusing
keep-
for people.
yeah, I know, I do that wrong.
It's officially called Lightning Lane multi-pass and
Multi-pass.
Lightning Lane single pass, but
Right.
it's all Lightning Lane. It's just if you're getting the multi-pass or the single
Or the
pass.
single pass.
And you can get both passes, of course. So it's like
Right.
if you want to do Tron, for instance, and you want to go on like Tiana's Bayou Adventure and maybe Pirates of the Caribbean, you can get the multi-pass and the single pass.
But
for
you're
that
not
day.
guaranteed those rides. You're still at the mercy of getting on and booking them.
I would still say so. I feel like probably for the single passes, it'll probably be easier because even right now, if you get pay per attraction, it's pretty easy.
It's
to
usually
get
pretty
pay-
easy.
your
It's
pay
the
per
Genie
attraction.
Plus multi-passes that even if you
Yes,
get them
the
7
multi-pass,
days
I
out,
think, will
well,
be
they said at
difficult.
certain timings, right? Because if you stay at Disney resorts, you get to do it 7 days for the whole 7 days.
Yeah, so it says Lightning Lanes can now be booked in advance 7 days before the first day of your stay for on-site guests and 3 days before your visit for off-site guests.
Right. But the thing is, it's like restaurants. You know, they say the same thing for restaurants. If you're on Disney property, you can get restaurants. And I stay on Disney property and I still can't get restaurants
for sure.
as
Yeah.
soon as it comes available. So you're not guaranteed
So-
to get these rides. They're just telling you that it's going back to the same
So
thing.
it will be interesting. This is launching on July 24th. So it'll be very interesting when this launches, how it works,
Right.
honestly. We are not going back to Disney World until February. So hopefully the kinks kind of get worked out by the time we go back and, things are working well. It'll be very interesting because like you said, I don't know. We'll see how easy it is or how difficult it is for people to get their passes, how it works. Again, people who still, it's like, again, just booking in advance. So I think it's very interesting for sure. So I guess we'll just see because I'm not sure. But I do think this is better than the day of and doing everything the day of to a certain extent.
Oh, it is because first of all, unfortunately, I have to always give Amanda her props. She does get up at 6:45 every morning and do this, okay? Because if I had to do it, we wouldn't be going on anything because I wouldn't.
Well, I think the thing is too at Disney, for everyone knows, you really have to plan your Disney vacations, right? Like Disney is not a vacation you just kind of do in a whim.
Not
and,
anymore.
and just go for it. I mean, like you can do that obviously, but if you plan ahead, you're gonna have a much better experience.
Yes.
And so the idea too is that for the Lightning Lanes before, it was kind of funny how the rides were the biggest thing, and that was the one thing you couldn't plan for. Or so it's like for people who were planning meticulously their whole trips, that was the one thing you couldn't really plan for. So it didn't really make any sense that everything in this vacation is super planned, except for like probably one of the most important things, which is the rides.
Right.
That's why I do like the fact that you can plan ahead for your rides and you can work it around.
At least you're going on some of the rides that you really
can
want to do while
guarantee
you're
your
there.
favorite rides when you go, which is very comforting to know, especially for people who are planners to know. And you have kids too. It's like you want to make sure you really get on Peter Pan's
Well, it's
flight.
also
you can,
now
you can work
because
to
it's
guarantee that.
because it's so expensive. Park hoppers are like ridiculously expensive.
For sure.
So if you do they give you all these deals sometimes where you do one park per day. Well, once you're in one park per day, that is limiting you. And if you don't get on the rides in that park for that day, well, the next day you're not going to be there. So how do you do that then? You take your kids on this vacation. You go to this vacation and they know that they've been looking at all these different rides they want to go on. And how do you say, oh, guess what? We didn't get there. So, it is a good thing to plan. And like I said, now that you can do it without having to get up at 7 o'clock, 6:30 or 6:45 every morning to do it, that also helps because there are people like us who don't want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. Or it's like, again, I feel like it helps alleviate the pressure of one person in your party always being on their phone the entire day. I
Right.
did think that was super inconvenient too, that I didn't really love that, someone in the party always had to be on their phone planning. It's funny too, because I'm getting married soon and we do want to do my bachelorette partially in Disney World and maybe on a Disney cruise. And even when I was talking to my two closest friends about this, and when I was thinking of trying to coordinate Genie Pluses for possibly 10 people, I'm like, that's
Yeah,
impossible.
right.
I
Who
have
do you think's
no
gonna
idea.
end up doing that?
Yeah,
Right.
it's probably me.
Right, 'cause
which
you're
is-
the one
which I don't mind
what's going on.
I don't
Right.
mind doing that, but in my head I was just like, that is going to be so difficult to plan the Genie Pluses for this because I'm just trying to wrap my head around
just
it
go
now.
on the
And I'm
cruise.
just like, this is wild. So,
Let them do everything
Well,
for you.
Tyler really wants to go drinking around the world. He's like, you know what? I'll put this on the podcast. So when we were
You could
talking,
do Epcot one day.
well, that's the goal is to go down before the night before the Disney
Do
cruise,
Epcot, and then
drink
get on
around
the cruise
world.
and relax.
So when we were talking about it, my other friend Shannon, she hasn't been to Disney World in a while. Tyler has been recently. He did go drinking around the world. So she said, which side do you start on? And I said, most people start with Mexico. And then I said, you either want to start with Mexico and then you end with Canada, or you start with Canada and you end with Mexico. And then Tyler was saying, he's like, oh, I don't really want to end with Canada. So then Shannon went, that's okay. We'll start with Mexico and end with Mexico.
Go right across and go to Mexico.
I was like losing. I thought that was so funny. I'm like,
can
that's
do
a good
that.
plan.
Why not?
So apparently we're starting and ending with
in
Mexico.
go.
We drink around the
Sounds
world.
good to me.
But yeah, that's just a little aside there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but just thinking of like planning, it's like, again, like this trip is so planned when you go that, it's definitely going to be interesting. So I'm excited to see other people test this out at the end of July, see how they do it. So and then we'll cover it too, some of the news as well when people talk about how it went. So, all right, and some other Disney news. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is officially open, and overall it seemingly has been going well. However, because it is the end of June, July, the weather in Disney or weather in Florida has been all over the place, and because it is a water ride, it has been closing intermittently for the storms that they're having. So that has been a bit of a challenge a little bit for people that they booked their Genie Pluses as of right now, soon to be multi-pass, and then the ride's closed half the day for weather purposes. But overall, going well. And even when it is closed, they've introduced a lot of new food for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So the Tiana's beignets are back. They have all food all across the park for her. So there's like an ice cream cone, there's like a popcorn bucket, there's all these different snacks that's all like themed around Tiana. So that's super exciting to see. Inside Out 2 is currently the highest grossing movie of the year. When I took this stat, I think the movie's actually gained more money because I took this stat on a Friday and we're filming on a Sunday. So this weekend it's gained more money. But as of the Friday when I took this number, it was at $863.1 million globally. And again, this is the highest grossing movie of the year so far. Dune Part 2 was initially the highest grossing movie at 711 million. Godzilla x Kong was 567 million. And Kung Fu Panda 4 was 543 million. So again, by a landslide, this movie is making way more money. And again, it's still in theaters, so it's projected to just keep hitting milestones for the year.
Sure.
So I think they're projected to hit over $1 billion or over a little bit over $1 billion, which for an animated movie, the last movie that made that much money was Super Smash Bros. I think like last year or 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, when Super Smash Bros. Came out in theaters, that was the last movie to gross over $1 billion globally. But Inside Out 2 will definitely, exceed that number as well. So that's super exciting to see because I really liked Inside Out 2. I kid you not, I saw it twice in theaters.
It was very good.
I did really like it. I am so curious because I know Moana is such a big Disney princess. I wonder if she's going to be Inside Out 2 or what. Because if you look at the movies coming out in 2024, there's not a lot of big hitters I feel like that are coming out this summer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's not like we have the Barbie movie or Oppenheimer like we had in 2023.
How did Moana 1 do? Do we know how Moana 1 did against
I don't
Inside
remember.
Out?
I'd have to look it up. But Inside Out 2 has been in the first Inside Out already. So again, Inside Out 2 is just gaining a lot. So I feel like maybe Moana could hit it. I also feel like it could not because she's coming out during Thanksgiving. So I feel like, with the holidays coming up.
Yeah, that could be one way or the other.
The
right.
timing wise could not be
timing wise,
perfect.
people, because right now there has not been anything for kids. And
there
it's the
hasn't
end of the
anything.
school year.
Again, it's summertime.
And everybody's having parties and
Yep.
kids and taking the kids, taking their kids to the movies and doing, where at Thanksgiving people are cooking, they're shopping, they're doing so. Opening night the day before Thanksgiving may not be the same as.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like Inside Out 2 could be, I think I'm excited to see at the end of the year. We're definitely, I'll bring this up again and make a note of it to see if Inside 2 is going to remain the highest grossing movie of the year. But again, I don't know all the movies that are coming out, honestly. I'm not a big movie person. So I just thought it was interesting and just kind of exciting too. Especially since some of the Pixar movies recently in theaters were not doing well. Like Elemental was considered, a flop in the theaters.
And that was a cute movie too. But
Elemental.
people really didn't jump on that one.
But I also think too, sometimes sequels do better than the first one because then people see it on Disney Plus and they're like, actually, I love that movie. I do want to go see the sequel. So again, you never know. All right. So in other news, the Scat Cat Lounge on the Disney Treasure will be a jazz themed lounge inspired by the Aristocats.
I know. I looked at that. They're so cute. I said, I want to go there.
I know, right? They're featuring a creme de la creme martini and the cat drink. I have no idea what the cat drink is going to be. I'm very
curious.
love
the whole atmosphere of it.
I know. I'm very excited for that. All right. The Sleepy Hollow waffle sandwich has been discontinued. People are very upset that Sleepy Hollow waffle sandwich has been discontinued. They still have the waffle platters and they added a few more like chicken and waffle type platters to the menus. But overall, I've been seeing in the Disney community the outrage that the waffle sandwich has been discontinued. I wonder if it just wasn't popular. I'm not really sure.
I guess so. I mean, obviously they took it away for a reason.
Yeah, I imagine it's one of those things where it's popular in the Disney community, but like the general population going to Disney maybe didn't really care for a waffle sandwich. I will say I'm not a big waffle person, if I'm being honest.
No, I've never had one.
Yeah, I'm not a big waffle person. I do love my Mickey waffles, but other than that, I'm not a waffle person. I don't crave waffles. So, but they are really pretty when you see the photos of them. So people are sad about that. Maybe they'll bring it back. We never know. All right, and our last little bit of Disney news is so exciting. On June 13th, there was a new baby zebra that was born at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It is a girl, and we are waiting to hear what her name will be. So we don't know yet.
Cute.
People have been submitting names on Instagram to them to say like what the name could be. I don't really know how they named the baby animals on property. And also, Anna Land has also given birth to a baby girl too. Anna Land is kind of like a type of deer, sort of. It looks like a deer. So yeah, another little baby girl as well. So 2 little baby girls on Animal Kingdom Lodge. They did say the babies will be out on the savannah savannas soon enough. So I don't know if they mean the savannah at Animal Kingdom Lodge or at Kilimanjaro Safari.
Yeah, maybe bringing them to
I think they're just going to be at Animal Kingdom Lodge from
Lodge.
what I can tell, because I know the savannas are connected, but they are also separate too. But that's what it seems like. And again, we don't know the name of Aland's. I think the mom's name was Cleo, but we don't know her little baby girl. And they also said too that for the Aland, this was her first baby, so it's very exciting, first time mother. And they said the birth and everything went very well. So everyone's super excited for the new 2 little babies that we have here. And I'm excited too, and I'm always excited to see what they name the babies. You know, I think that's always super fun, because again, we're all still loving Cora, which is the little baby elephant that's
Oh God, she was so
Safari.
cute.
And again, there are going to be more baby elephants next year as well. That's going to be born. So excited to see that. All right, now to our next segment, our Disney birthdays. So on July 1st, it is Indiana Jones's birthday. So happy birthday to Indiana Jones. And then we have 2 birthdays on July 4th, which I think is really funny. We have Steve Rogers, who's Captain America, and Nick Fury. I'm like, why did they give them the same birthday? That's so funny, honestly.
Well, it's July 4th.
I know. I think that's so funny too that they had it. Of course, Captain America has to be born on July 4th, but then Nick Fury too. Like he couldn't have any other birthday. Like he also had to be July 4th. And then in our personal lives, we also have on July 2nd my mom's cat Savannah. She's technically a kitten, but she will be 1 on July 2nd. So I mean, like still a kittenesque, you know, still a young cat.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's gonna be 1, so that's super exciting. And that transitions into our final segment of the podcast, our Disney memory. So you have a Disney memory for today's podcast?
Oh, Disney memory. As soon as you say that, I think of Disney at Christmas, because we talked about it in the beginning. I love Disney at Christmas. I love just walking down Main Street. I love seeing the wreaths. I love hearing the music. I love all of that. I just think of all the Christmas times that we've been there and just enjoyed the Santa Clauses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Christmas time is one of my favorite times to go. I love seeing all the trees. I think
Popped into my head as soon as you said Disney memory.
Yeah, I think the way they decorate the trees is just so fun. How they're all like super themed to wherever they are. I think it's just very, so beautiful. I love the gingerbread displays. That's one of my favorite parts, honestly.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. They just announced that Disney has confirmed that the gingerbread display in Grand Floridian Lodge is going to be happening, which I think is fine. Can you imagine if they ever took that away?
Oh my God, that was my favorite.
I know, right? But they announced that they're officially going to do it, and the bakers will start baking the gingerbread for that in July. So so in July is when the bakers will start working on that gingerbread.
That's my favorite. We won't see it this year, but that's my favorite.
We won't see it, but I love all the gingerbread displays that they do in all the parks. I love that they added more displays. Like I love that boardwalk display that we saw, the little mini boardwalk deli. So cute. I love seeing the animals at Animal Kingdom Lodge as well. So cute. So I love that they do the gingerbread displays. One of my favorite parts. So that's a good memory for me too. All right. Thanks so much everyone for listening to this week's podcast. Let us know. Make sure you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you're listening on YouTube, to leave a comment down below. Also, let us know, how did you do on the Would You Rathers? Did you pick the opposite?
Did you change your mind like we did?
Yeah. Did you change your mind too, as I kept changing the Would You Rathers too as you were going along to see what would it take to pick the other option? I know. So let us know what you thought of this. This is our first time playing this game too. I thought about maybe doing more specific ones like a Magic Kingdom edition and Epcot edition. So maybe we'll do that in the future as well. So definitely let us know what you thought, which ones you had picked as well. I would love to hear it. And also what you think of the new multi-pass and single pass lightning lanes. I'm excited to see how that's going to work out and everyone's thoughts on that too. So, and again, our Instagram is almost Amanda X, but we'll be in the link tree description as well. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening.